Hello, it says I'm alive. Donna, hello, how are you? Sue, I'm so happy you're here. I'm happy you're all here, but I'm seeing Sue and I haven't seen Sue. I think for a few weeks. I'm so happy. Marianne, I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for coming, Stevie. Happy you're here. Good morning. Um, you didn't? Stevie, that's so bizarre. I did. Like I saw it in my email, so hmm. Gotta talk to my tech person, my husband. Carolyn, good morning. All right. Carolyn, did you get the link today? Okay. All right. So what's going on, ladies? What is the biggest thing um you're never getting kicked out of class? I was like, I saw Donna said never, and I'm like, whoa, what did she say never to? Heck no, Stevie. Oh, wow. I'm telling you guys, if you really even knew how much technology stuff goes on behind the scenes, I could not do this without my husband. I mean, I guess I couldn't do a lot of things without him, but oh my God, what it takes, like me showing up wherever it is, whether it's in a podcast, whether it's here, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. So, anyway, you didn't get it. Hmm. That is so strange because I did. Donna did. All right, we'll need to check into that. I'm really sorry, Sharon. Um, that's a bummer. All right. Carolyn did get it. So Carolyn got it. Donna got it. Sue, I'm wondering if you did. Marianne, did you get a link? And then, so if you don't get it, Sharon, how did you get in here? Because I don't ever have to do that. So I don't know what the process is. And I'm wondering if we should have links somewhere else that you could go to, maybe even on my homepage or somewhere that has a little link that says join live whenever it is live. Okay, on my website. Okay, but it needs to be a little bit more prominent because this is definitely something that you got it, Marianne. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely something that I want to promote a little bit more and let people know that this is happening. Today, like I have so much stuff going on. I've got 2 more podcast interviews today. One of them is with a gynecologist, which I cannot wait just to see her questions that she said she'd like to talk about. Anyway, I want to show us what is possible for us to take control of our bone health, especially as naturally as possible. I want to show other options other than medications. And if medications are something that someone wants to take, that's fine. But then what about all the other things? Medications only do one thing. We still have to work on flexibility and joint range of motion and balance. We still need to heal our gut and heal our insides and manage the metabolism of bone health. So that's what's going to be happening. Homepage. Oh, you do. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to try to make that a little bit more user friendly then. And so thank you, ladies. This has been really helpful for me today because I'll figure this out with my husband and how we can make that navigation a lot easier. So maybe you do go to my website and bam, there's buttons on the top for Thursday class, Wednesday class, Saturday class. And then I'll have information about how to join the Tuesday class, which you have to do through Torrance Memorial Medical Center. And it's on Zoom and you've got to pay for that one. So anyway, all right. Well, let's get started. I thought today we would focus on balance. And I do think that balance is a huge issue for many of us, if not all of us, right? So yeah, Stevie, I know, wouldn't it be? Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Well, we just did something. Somebody told me on YouTube, I created a video of the 12 postures. After my discussion with Dr. Fishman, I created the 12 poses. It was a 26-minute video because I cannot do it in 12 minutes. I don't know. I just can't. I guess if I were doing it myself and I was being quiet and just going from one to the other, I could, and holding for a true 30 seconds. But anyway, I made this video and someone reached out to me. I can't remember if it was you, Marianne, or if it was someone else that said the first 2 times she did it, no problem, 26 minutes, she could do the whole practice. And then the next time there's 5 interruptions for commercials in a 5-minute practice. I mean, in a 26-minute practice. So we just figured out a new way to share that where it won't be interrupted. All right, so let's get started. Let me go back to my post. Really sorry about that situation and not being able to get in. All right. Oh, let me just move this and this. I have lights that I need because I need it to be able. Okay. All right. So for today's one day I'll learn how to speak. For today's practice, we are going to focus on balance because balance is critical to bone health, to healthy aging, to happiness in our lives, to a really good quality of life. Because if we do fall, we get injured, it can be devastating on many levels. Of course, you know, the worst case scenario, but then even in between worst case scenario, there's all of what can happen in your life. And in many ways, that's where I lived when I was 50 and my hip joint collapsed. I lived in that place of really not being able to participate. So balance is really important. And it'll also, the stronger and better balance you feel, the more confident you'll feel to actually do more in your life. And then it's going to be helpful in creating more bone strength. So for today's practice, I'm going to begin with 2 blocks because I want to get as big of a posture opener as possible. Anytime you have any forward movement in the body, whether it's the head forward or the rounded spine, that's going to already put you in that forward downward movement. So I'm going to use 2 blocks. One of them will be behind my back and one will be behind my head. So this is how I'm going to begin my practice today. You may have 2 blocks and that may be something you do, or you may decide to use the blanket. And if you do use a blanket, take a blanket and roll the blanket up into a tube, into a cylinder or a blanket roll. And this is what you'll put your spine on. So you're going to put your spine on a blanket, or you can put your spine on a block. Of course, a blanket's more soft, and so you have to choose what's appropriate for your body. So I'm going to put 1 block horizontal and then 1 vertical, and you play with this on what you need if you're using 2 blocks. We're going to put the strap that we'll need for later on down the side. Now, here's one thing I want to say is that balance is not just about standing on 1 foot. It's not just about that. It's also about internal balance. And for our body to be in the zone to build bone tissue or muscle tissue or cells, we need to have an internal balance. That means that we have to stimulate parasympathetic nervous system. We need to learn how to move from the back of our brain, from the fight-flight zone, into the present moment zone. And, even more so as we age and we have more things in our lives that are happening to us, it seems that there's even more stress I'm finding with either people I work with or even with my family. Speaking to my dad last night, who's 93 years old and has 93 years worth of things to ruminate in his mind. And we were talking about sleep, and he said, I don't know, I just think a lot, but he has so much to think about. He's outlived most of his friends. And so, aging and breakdown of our body or feeling hopeless or watching the world change maybe in a way that is going beyond us. There's all of these things that are happening in our lives that bring us to this fight-flight zone. And so internal balance for bone remodeling is critical. And this first part of the practice is what we're going to be doing is trying to shift from fight-flight to repair and restore. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to stimulate and the relaxation and healing and repairing and building zone of the nervous system. So when you do come down, we're going to move up from our back brain into the front brain. We're going to be present moment. And the more you can bring yourself into the body, the more you could feel your hip joint, feel your low back, feel your toes, your sole of your foot, wherever you're directing your awareness, the more you can do that on this mat and even off, then you are away from that fight-flight zone. And you do have that potential to tap into healing. The body cannot and will not build bones or repair anything if you're in a state of stress. So let's use this first part of practice to learn how to manage our mind, manage our thoughts, and while we're at it, do something physically to the body to correct posture, which will support bone health. I've chosen to do this. You choose to either do a blanket roll or whatever is ready, what you need. And Also, watch the activity of your mind. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that our mind is going 100 miles an hour. 100 miles. That's the speed of the mind right now. What's going on? Where are we going? What's going to happen tomorrow? What did I do yesterday? Why did they look at me that way? Why is this happening? 100 miles an hour, and we're going to put on the brakes and start to slow down. So that's what this first part of the practice is. Bring yourself down into whatever you've chosen to manipulate your spine or support your spine. Close your eyes. Let your knees be bent as you try to move your spine into a place where you feel a pretty substantial stretch. And when you come here, keep your knees bent. Let your feet be wide, especially if you have blocks underneath your spine. It's a very big opener. So you want to approach this casually with awareness. Close your eyes, feel and notice. And the feeling and noticing part of your brain is in the front, the top part of the brain. It's not in that chronic stress place. So bring yourself to that sensory cortical brain. Eyes are closed. Start to move your arms up and down. Let the palms be up towards the sky. Bringing in movement to slowly apply the brakes of the mental energy. Keep your mouth closed. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Palms are up towards the sky, bringing the elbows down to your waist on the exhale. Bringing your hands towards touching overhead on the inhale. If you feel that you want to just rest and put your hands out to the side and let the posture do its work without movement, you could choose that. Inhaling up. Exhale, elbows down to the waist. Then let your arms go out to the side and rest if you were moving. Bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet. Either the knees are bent, you feel the soles of the feet on the ground, or you have straight legs, and try to notice the temperature of the air on the soles of your feet. Using the posture to help to create this big opening. Stretch in the chest, stretch in the spine, even stretch in the belly. And let's apply more brakes to mental energy. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Bring the awareness to the nostrils. And start to observe the breath entering your body. And is the breath entering your body equally on both sides? Both nostrils? And then follow the breath into your chest. And try to stretch the lungs up to the sky, back towards your prop, out to the sides by the armpits, so right underneath the armpits at the top. Feel the lungs as you breathe. Feel it stretch this part of your body, the armpits. And breathe in and breathe to the top of the lungs, up towards your brain. Top of the lungs moving up towards your brain on the inhales. Bring your awareness to your belly. Start to bring the breath deep into your body, all the way to your belly. As if you could see it, feel it, notice it. You're following the breath in with your mind, in the nostrils, down to the belly. Let's add a little counting to slow down mental energy, to apply more breaks to thoughts. We're going to count 5 on the inhale, 5 on the exhale. Sukha pranayama, breath of peace. Take an exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Adding on. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue counting. If you're able to go to 6 or 7 or 8, try that. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Keep your mind on your breath. Finishing the breath you're on. Take one more breath. Let your awareness go up and down your body, noticing what you notice. Bring your awareness to your chest. Do you feel a stretch where the arms attach? Do you feel a stretch in the front of your chest, in your spine? Do you feel anything in your belly? Take your arms, reach your arms overhead. Try to really stretch your torso away from your pelvis. Feel that stretch in your body. If you'd like to take a hold of one wrist and pull it up towards the back wall and then bend it over to the opposite side. Keep the arms along your ears.
Don't let them come in front of your face if you're able to do that. So laterally stretching your torso, reaching your hand up to the back wall, and then guiding it over gently to the opposite side, feeling a stretch. Push your heart up towards the sky, belly button towards the spine to help protect lumbar spine. Feel all that work inside your body. And then the other side, take a hold of the wrist, reach the arm up to the wall behind you, and then guide it over to the side, pushing the heart up towards the sky. And take one more breath. And bring your awareness to your hands, really bending your fingers. Bring yourself onto your side. So off your props, onto your side. If you move off to your side from a supported back bend and you feel a release right away, that's actually a sign that you have a really big opener taking place. So I know for me, coming off the blocks right now, I definitely felt that release. So this is a pretty big opener, and that's going to stretch postural muscles, which is so important for bone health. Take your hand on the ground, push yourself to bring yourself up away from the ground. And clearing your space. If you did have 2 blocks, move one off. Bring your blanket back. Come onto all fours. Let your body settle here. Take your hands. So let your shoulders settle. I want to do something called flossing the shoulder joint. So bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your arms straight. Let your rib cage go down towards the ground. The arms are straight, and then push yourself up and away. Push yourself down and up. Of course, if this feels strange or uncomfortable, don't do it. When I teach this in person, what I notice a lot, so we're going, the whole body is lowering down with the arms staying straight and then pushing up and away. Down and up and away. And what I notice is that when someone is trying to do this, they may try to bend their elbows. There's no bending of the elbows. You keep your arms straight. You're moving down, your whole rib cage goes towards the ground, and you push away, and you're moving your upper arm bone in that shoulder joint. So see how that feels. We need the upper shoulder girdle when it comes to spinal health, and spinal health is going to have a lot to do with balance. We want to have some spaciousness in the upper body. And then bring yourself all the way up, come out, take your hands, shake your hands. So let's go down onto the ground, do a little bit to warm up the hip joint, the legs, where we need that communication of the nervous system for balance. So you're going to take your blanket up to the top of the mat. You're going to bring yourself onto your side, bring your hands all the way down, and come all the way down onto the ground. So your shoulder blades are in the ground and your head is supported by the blanket. Bring one knee in and let one leg go straight. Go slow. See if you could feel that stretch in the front of the straight leg. Maybe you feel tension where you're bending your hip. Draw your knee in as deeply as you can. We're asymmetrically stretching the body. This can actually be nice and releasing and relieving for low back discomfort. So knees to chest, pretty basic posture in yoga. It's called Apanasana. It's a digestive posture, helps with physical digestion, and it also helps with mental, emotional digestion, calming the nervous system, going into the bone building zone. Take your elbow up in the air, take the opposite hand out to the side, open your leg to the side, stretching the adductors, the inner thigh muscles, bring yourself back up, inhale to open up. Be really strong here, hold on to that leg, keep the leg really high up, and move it out to the side. Try to feel that stretch of the adductors attached to your pelvis and into your inner knee joint. And you may even be experiencing something on the other side, in the front of the hip, maybe even in the low back area. Stabilizing muscles need to turn on here. Then bring your leg, hold underneath your hamstring, and you're going to bend and extend the leg, warming up your hamstring, bringing blood flow to that muscle group. This is one of the muscle groups we pull on when we stretch because it's attached to your pelvis. And we want to pull on its attachment onto the bone because that's what creates bone building stimulation. Bend the leg that's straight and then switch. Draw that leg in and slowly straighten the opposite leg. Let your body find this, let it relax into it, drawing that leg close to your chest, opposite leg is straight. Take your hand on your knee. Keep your knee pretty high as you inhale to open the knee to the side. Now, when we do one of the postures, one of the forward fold postures, which is supine on our backs, the big toe stretch number 2, we're stretching the adductor muscle group. And this is attached onto the inner part of the pelvis. So the stronger we make this bone, the pelvic bone, the less prone to fracture if you do slip, trip, or fall. You inhale to open that leg to the side, high and to the side. Because when we come to that leg stretch, we're going to be stretching this muscle group. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Stretching your hamstring. Keep that knee in, draw the other knee in. Bring your feet up towards the sky. So you either have your knees close to your chest, or if you want a little bit more work for core, push your legs away so that your legs are coming right out of the socket. You're going to have to activate your core to stabilize your trunk here. Point your feet strongly on the inhale, flex on the exhale. Inhale, exhale. Look at your feet. This is where balance communication begins in your body, where your feet are standing. And your nerves go up your body to your brain, telling your brain which muscles to turn on to prevent you from falling. So you need limber ankles. Point and flex. Now slow circles in one direction. Keep your kneecaps stationary. So let this be an ankle joint movement. Don't let your legs move. And then the other direction. And then draw your knees into your chest. Feet are on the ground. Grab your strap. Take your right leg, draw the right leg into your body, put the strap on the arch. So the strap is on the arch. Then you're going to take your hands down the strap, wrap your hands around, and we're going to do Supta Padangusthasana number 1, big toe stretch pose number 1. You could leave your left leg bent, or you could straighten it. If you're on the tighter side, I recommend that you leave the leg bent, the left leg, because the big goal here, keep this knee straight. We're pulling on our pelvis here. So let's set our body up. Push your right leg away from you and pull it down. So you maybe even feel tension already. And then active left foot or left leg, depending on straight or bent. Push the right leg away and let's enter the posture. Draw your leg towards the wall behind you. Push the leg away and pull it back. Create as much tension as you can. Push the leg away. Keep a nice long right waist. Heel up towards the sky. Active foot, active leg, pushing away from you and pulling towards the wall behind you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and take the tension out. Take the strap in the right hand. Slide your hand down the strap and hold on to the strap. For those of you that happen to be a little bit on the tighter side, having a block here to take the weight of your leg. So if your leg goes out to the side, you may need to rest in on the block. The key with this is that your leg goes out to the side when we come out. It does not go forward. So have your leg pretty high and then start to bring your leg out to the side. Stabilize, turn on your core to stabilize your pelvis. Keep coming out to the side if you could keep your leg pretty high. If it starts to go down towards the foot part of the mat, then stop and put a block there if you need to help you manage the weight of your leg. Want to stretch the inner thigh. You want your inner thigh to be as far away from the top other thigh as possible. Contract your core. Shoulder blades are on the ground. Try to get the sacrum, which is the center of your pelvis, the base of the spine, pressing into the ground. Get that left buttock to touch the ground. Push into the strap with the right foot, right leg is straight. Push through your arches of both feet. Be as long as you could be in your body, contracting your core, protecting your torso, protecting your spine. Take one more breath. If you're able to use your core and the muscles in your leg to bring it back up, go ahead, or bend your knee if you need to. Bring yourself out. Feel what's happening in your body. And then we're going to go to the other side. So bring the strap onto the left foot, bend the knee, bring the foot in, put your strap on your foot. Wrap your hands around. Right leg straight or bent, up to you. Push that left leg away from you. Pull the strap down to activate that leg. Activate your core to support your torso. Push the leg away and now guide the leg towards the wall behind you. Pushing through the arches of both feet, pushing and activating the left leg to move away from you. Really pull the leg towards the wall behind you. So you're pulling towards the wall behind you and pushing away to create as much force behind that leg as you can. Really try to pull on that pelvic bone. Push that left buttock towards the ground. Left leg is straight. Take one more breath. And then go ahead. Release. Take the strap in the left hand. Slide your hand down, right arm to the right. Contract your core. You're going to inhale to lengthen out to the side. Keep that leg high and lifted. Contract your core, stabilize your trunk. Right tushy is on the ground. Right arm is on the ground. Shoulder blades are on the ground. Try to feel that sacrum pressing into the ground. Left leg is straight, pushing through the arches of both legs. Be very active here. You're not just hanging out in a stretch. Make it active and strong. Take one more breath. And then bringing yourself back up to center. Take the strap off. Bring the strap off to the side. Draw your knees into your chest. Spread your legs. Hold on underneath your thighs and rock side to side. So we'll move into the bridge posture. Bridge posture, strengthening the back. It also lengthens the front of the body. It stretches the front of the body, compresses the back of the body. So let's warm up the body for the back bends. Warming up the hip joint. Take your feet wide. Soles of the feet are on the ground. Heels are on the mat. Toes are off. And keep the soles of the feet on the ground as you start to go side to side with your knees. Feel your body weight shifting from right side to left side in your pelvis. And your pelvis is on the ground. Feel the center of your pelvis, where the sacrum is, the base of the spine. And notice how the legs are moving. Close your eyes. The legs are moving and you feel that constant pressure in the sacral area. And then you'll feel the stretch in both hip areas. Maybe both the same or one more than the other. And with the eyes closed, start to let your knees go a little farther. Notice how that stretch comes up the hip. Maybe if it goes into the back, push the belly button towards the spine to limit that sensation if that's aggravating for your body. Side to side, eyes are closed. Feel the buttocks. The weight goes over to one side completely and then to the other. Try to push your legs away from you as they go to the side so you feel a stretch in your waist coming a little higher up in that front hip joint. Let your legs stay over to one side. Let the opposite arm reach away. Let the head reach in that direction. Stretch that side. Take a couple of breaths here to that side. Breathe on the side of your body and breathe on the side of your spine. Feel that whole side stretch. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's go to the other side. Let your legs go to the opposite direction. Let your hand reach away. Close your eyes. Breathe to this side. Feel the stretch. And then bring yourself out, bring yourself back. So let's do the bridge pose today. Let's do it with some props. Let's take the strap, make a loop in the strap. So make a loop in your strap or tie the strap. Then bring your feet up, bring your feet into the strap. So as you push out into the strap, like let your legs go in the air as you push out into the strap, your legs don't go that far apart. You're pretty close to body distance. And your strap is on the top part. You either have it looped or you tie it into this. Then get your block, bring your block beside you. Take your blanket away from the back of your head. And then roll side to side. So you roll the outer part of your arm, you roll it under, and take your hand even and do this. So take your hand, palm is down, then roll your hand so the thumb comes up, palm comes up. Let the shoulder blade go closer to your spine. Place that down on the ground. Roll to the other side, roll and get more narrow across the top. Lift your head, lengthen your neck. Walk your feet closer to your body. Push your tushy up and put the block underneath your pelvis. And then let your pelvis rest on that block. Now, if the block is too high for you, you could put the blanket behind your head, use a blanket instead of a block. No blanket behind the head. Lift the head up, lengthen the neck. Lift your shoulders up, slide them towards each other, and bring your arms alongside the body. Either karate chop the floor with your pinky edge or place the palms into the ground. Long neck, walk your feet closer to the block. Push out on the strap. Exhale. As you inhale, push your feet into the floor, lift your tushy away from the block. And even if you don't get away from the block, that's okay. Keep pushing your body into the ground to get up. Using the block as the entry into bridge. It's the first step of the posture for those that are just starting. Push out on your strap, move your knees away from you. Push your arms into the floor strongly, using the upper body and the lower body. Push your hands into the floor, push your feet into the floor. Push your hip joint up towards the sky to unbend your hip. Push into the strap and stretch your knees away from you. Take one more breath. Slowly bring yourself down. Let your pelvis come back to the block. Walk your feet apart. Let your knees fall in towards each other. Take your arms to the side. Palms are up. Elbows are bent. And rest here. Push your heart up towards the sky. Don't let your chest cave in. Take one more breath. Bring the block out to the side. Bring your pelvis back down onto the ground. Bring the blanket underneath your head. Draw your knees into your chest. Take your strap off of your legs. Draw your knees in, rock side to side. Bring yourself onto your side. Then take your hand on the ground, push your hand into the ground, push your elbow into the ground. Take your blanket, bring your blanket into the middle of your mat. Come to sit on your blanket. Sit on your blanket, take your hands on the ground behind you, take your legs wide, move your legs side to side. And then bring yourself back up. So we're going to do a balance posture, balancing on the base of our spine. This is called Navasana boat pose. It is a core posture. You have deep hip flexion. The hip flexors are attached to the low back. You want to make sure that you do not cave in your body. So really keeping that straight spine, lifted heart is important. Take a hold of your legs underneath. Elbows are out to the side, really maintaining this lifted elbow instead of collapsing your elbows. So elbows are lifted. That's going to activate the postural muscles on the upper back and help to support the spine. So you're going to let your elbows be out to the side. You're going to walk your feet closer and then bring yourself and start doing a little balance here, tipping forward and backwards. Elbows are out to the sides, forward and backward. Feel that. And see if you can feel the core activating and working to do this movement, forward and back. Keep your head lifted. Your gaze is forward. So this is a real good entryway to start strengthening your core and being able to do Navasana boat pose. Let's come into the posture. Come all the way up. Bring your knees up. Elbows are lifted. Chest is lifted. From here, if you'd like to take one arm off and challenge yourself like that, and then switch. If you'd like to explore what two arms off is like, try that. For those that can go to straight legs, I can't do straight legs right now. You could try straight legs. You could hold on, arms are off. Lift your heart. Don't let your chest collapse. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out, bring yourself down. Take your legs wide. Let your body move side to side. Take the tension out of the legs, out of the hips. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Hold on at your ankles, pushing down with your legs and getting tall in your spine. Push your heart forward, look up. Keep the teeth together and stretch your chin up towards the sky. See if you feel a stretch on the neck. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Come all the way out. Come on to a kneeling position. Let's do a little balance challenge, loading up the hip joint here. So you're on your shins, and then bring 1 foot forward. Bringing 1 foot forward. Let your foot come straight out of your body. So you're really narrow, your hip distance stance here. Take your hands down alongside your body. Palms are forward. And then let your awareness come to that front foot. Feel the foot trying to navigate and grab a hold of the floor. Feel that ankle joint move. And then notice what's happening in the hip you're balancing on. So a little asymmetric communication up and down your body here. Make sure that the front foot is forward quite a bit. You want to make sure your front foot is forward and not close to your body. Don't have it close. You want it to be farther away. The farther away it is, the more challenging it is. And then if you bring it closer to center, like you're on a tightrope, it'll start to get a little crazy. So bring your foot, challenge yourself a little closer to the place of wobble. Don't go beyond where maybe it becomes a little easier, or maybe it doesn't actually. Play with this. Really noticing you're close to the ground here. The farther away you go, the more stabilizing it's going to be. This becomes like a triangle, like a pyramid. The closer you go to center, the more you challenge yourself in your nervous system. When you go over to the side, you're going to have to use your arms here to help you. Pretty interesting, huh? And then bring yourself back to center. If you went back beyond, come to the other side, bringing the foot out. Now you're balancing on that hip that you're standing on. Make sure your foot is forward. The more forward it goes, the more challenging it is. And then maybe even going closer to center. Only challenging yourself into whatever's appropriate. Heart lifted. And then bring your foot back to neutral and then all the way out. Let's come into plank, do another strength posture. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Let's take 1 foot back and then the other. If you need to be in the modification, keep the knees and the shins on the ground. And do a little bit with the stabilizing muscles. So if you'd like to come into 3-legged plank, you can lift 1 leg up. Lift the other. Take 1 hand off. And then the other. The hardest thing for sure is to bring the opposite hand and opposite leg off. So if you want to try opposite hand to opposite leg, and then switch. Bring your hands down. Push away from the ground with your feet. Push away with your hands. And then let's come out. Knees are on the ground. Take your hands forward. Let's stretch the spine. Hands are forward. Bending at your hip joint. Bring the forehead onto the ground. Take one more breath. Bring your head up. Bring your hands back. Slowly bring yourself up. Let your blood calibrate here. A couple of breaths here. We're going to come to standing. So before you get up, move your strap off to the side. Your block you'll need, flip it up onto the highest level so that when you bend down to get it from a standing position, you don't bend your spine, setting yourself up for success. Bring your foot forward, whichever one you'd like. Bring your foot forward. Flip the back toes under. Bring your hands on the top thigh, pretty close to your body. Inhale back, then exhale forward. Push away from the ground and bring yourself up. We're going to bend down to get the blanket. Let's bend down properly. Take your feet really wide. Push your tushy back. Bring yourself up. Keep the front of your spine lifted. Push your tushy back. Bring yourself up. Push your tushy back. Bend your knees out to the side. And then bend down and get your blanket. So practicing here how to bend safely. So you'll do it when you're not in a class. You'll make that a subconscious movement in your body. So get a chair if you need a chair. Bring the back of the chair towards you. Let's come into mountain, establish alignment. Toes together, a little more challenging. So if you're challenging yourself with balance today, that being closer to that midline is going to be a challenge. Coming into mountain, find that alignment. Reach down with your hands, push down into the ground and get tall in your spine. Active, push your feet down into the ground a lot. Push the tailbone down, push the top thighs back. Lift the pubic bone up. Contract your core and squeeze up towards the ribs. Lift your heart, lift your clavicle bones. Reach down with the fingers strongly. Push back with the hands. Let the clavicle bones reach up towards the sky. Chin parallel towards the ground, and then push your head back. Imagine that you're up against a wall behind you. Push the center of your head, shoulder blades, and sacrum back. Take one more breath. From here, bring one foot in front of the other in a tightrope position. One foot is in front of the other. Bring your weight forward. Now bring your weight back. Come onto your tippy toes. Heel is off the floor. If you can, lift that opposite leg up. If you need to keep the tippy toe on the floor, do that. This is called Karate Kid. We'll treat this as one posture we're doing. 30-second hold. We're going to dismount gracefully, putting the foot down. There's a lot of strength that goes into the joints and the muscles and the bones as we enter and exit postures. Bring yourself back to the tightrope. Bring yourself back to mountain. Soles of the feet are together. Big toes are touching. Heels are not. And then bring the opposite foot in front. Bring your body weight forward, back. Feel this posture in your body. Notice your ankles, your feet, what's happening. From here, coming to tippy toes and to Karate Kid if that's available to you. Take one more breath. Slowly lower the leg, bring it right back to a tightrope position. Bring your body weight into both feet. Foot out into mountain. And then relax. So let's slowly introduce balance into the joint, bringing our body into different positions. So the first one would be tree, coming to a mountain pose. Let's enter this the right way. And I say that because I watch people come into tree, lifting this leg up, moving this leg. And if you look at my body, here's my hip lights, here's my heart lights. Hip lights, heart lights. If you come up like this, here's my hip lights, they're gonna go with that leg to bring it up. I don't want that. I want you to be hip lights and heart lights straight forward. So take your hands down. Let's let this be true hip external rotation. Your knee might not go out far to the side, that's okay. Bring yourself onto your tippy toes. And then while your feet are on the ground, externally rotate that leg to wherever it will go. From here, lift it up, place it in between your ankle and your knee. Push down into the ground, reach down with your hands, get tall in your body. If you want to challenge yourself, you either move your body as if there was wind blowing, or you start to bring your eyesight and start looking up. Do whatever's appropriate for you. You want to be dancing. You want your joint, your ankle joint, to be moving and to be experiencing different aspects of where you are in space. You want that communication to develop, strengthening the ankles in different ways. Take one more breath, and then bring your knee forward. Bring your foot down. Big toes are touching, heels are not. The widest part of your foot is the top, and then the heel is more narrow. So that's a true hip joint position. Bring your body over to the other side, bending the toes. Keep the toes on the ground. Push that knee out to the side. Hip lights are forward, heart light is forward. And then bring your foot up in between your ankle and your knee. In between, make sure that your heel is not pressing into the inner ankle joint. So you want it to be low, below the ankle, below the knee joint. If you do put your leg up higher, it's no difference in terms of forces to the hip joint to create bone stimulation. So do what is the safest, keeps your body in proper alignment, and then create those strong forces. Keep pushing that knee to the side. You add what you'd like, either wind with your hands moving around or letting your gaze look up towards the sky. Challenge yourself appropriately. Take one more breath. Come slowly out. Bring your foot back down. Reach your hands down. And then relax. So even leaving the posture is as important as coming into it and maintaining it. And so when you're in something, even if it's a challenge to be here, you don't want to keep working. And then when it's time to get out, you throw yourself out of it. You want to really see, can I move in my joints all the way to the end and come out and dismount gracefully? Because all along the way is an opportunity for strength, for increased range of motion, flexibility, communication in the joints. We want as much as we can get. We're here, we're doing this, we're showing up for ourselves. Let's maximize what we're doing. Now we're going to load up the joint by loading into different areas, bringing our body weight into different areas using postures that will do that. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do dancer. Now this is the one that I would say most people have trouble with and can fall out of. And when I say fall, I don't necessarily mean to the ground. I mean, this kind of a thing. So I want you to be careful. I'm going to help you get into this. I want you to be careful, and then we're going to hold that. So you bring your foot to face your chair. Bring your hand onto the back of the chair. Bring your foot up towards the tushy. And then when you reach down to get it, you want to make sure you don't reach down to get it. You don't want to bend your spine and compromise your spine to get it. Let's come here for a second. We'll do something. Bring your hand right by your lower ribs. Bring your other hand right by your belly button. This space here. You want this distance to remain between these two hands always. When these two hands come together, push these two hands coming together, you're actually putting pressure on the front of your spine, which is where half of all the fractures, 1.5 million fractures a year occur. They're called compression fractures in the spine, and it's when the hands come together like this. So when you are trying to reach down, you want to make sure that distance exists and doesn't get shorter as you try to reach down to grab. So one hand is on the back of the chair. You bend the heel. Maybe you can only grab your pants or your sock, or maybe you're able to reach down and grab that foot, whatever it is. Foot is on the ground. Then you're going to tip forward into that front hip. And then you're going to start to push the back foot into that hand. From here, can you lift the front hand off and hold dancer posture? Take one more breath. Dismount gracefully. Maybe you need your hand to come down, or maybe you're able to bring yourself back to neutral and then release your leg. Shake your leg. A lot of work for that hip that you were standing on. Let's go to the other side. Standing on the foot, the toes face the chair, the hand is on the chair. You start to bend that leg, getting it closer, making sure you maintain the front of your spine. It's not collapsing. So bring the foot up, either grab the pants or reach around and grab the top of the foot, whatever's available to you. Toes are forward. Let's load up that hip by tipping forward into that hip. From here, push your hand into your foot into your hand. And then if you are able to lift your hand off, try that. Take one more breath. Slowly coming out, either bring the hand down, come back to neutral in your hip, and then bring your foot down. Come back to mountain, catch your breath. Big toes touch, heels don't. Push your hands back, push away from the ground, get tall in your spine. And then release. We're going to come into warrior three. This is a challenging posture. So let's use the chair for this. So if you do remember what leg you were on, switch and go to the other leg. So your toes are forward, hip distance, not too far. So hip distance means the big toes are about 2 or 3 inches apart. It's not wider than that. So come here, have your block on the floor. Block on the chair. And then you're going to hold on to your chair. You're going to push your tissue back and bend your hip joint. So you're bending your hip joint. Now maybe you stay here on the chair and you lift one leg up, or maybe you're able to come down onto the chair, meaning that you're keeping the front of your spine long. Or maybe you need to put one hand on a block. So whatever you need, lift your leg up and then opposite hand to the leg. So whatever leg is lifted, let the opposite arm come up if you'd like. Push your body weight back so you're definitely standing and weight bearing in that standing leg. Take one more breath. Don't bend your spine, bend the standing leg. Let the knee and the hip be what's bending, not the spine. Bring your other foot down, bring your hands on top of your chair, bring yourself up. Mountain to catch your breath. These bigger postures use more muscles. The glutes had to do a lot in that, as do the quadriceps, larger muscle groups. So your body needs more oxygen because you need more energy. So balancing the internal energy with breath, bring in oxygen, give your body what it needs. Let's go to the other side. Hands are on the chair. Push your tushy back. Hands either stay here or you're able to come down onto the chair. Push the foot into the floor that you're going to be supporting, supporting your body. Lift your opposite leg up. Push your body weight back so you're definitely weight bearing in that back leg. And then having your hand on the block if you need that, if you feel a collapse on one side or the other, lifting that leg up. If you'd like to lift the opposite arm up, take one more breath. And then you're going to bring your foot down, bend the standing leg, keep your head lifted, bring yourself up, back to mountain. And then let yourself go. So this next posture we're going to do, the last standing posture, is about creating as much strength in the pelvic area as possible, because we need a strong lower body, glutes, quadriceps, to protect our body, to stabilize our body, and to protect for balance. We need this whole area to be really, really strong. So let's get the block. You're going to put the block either between the upper thighs. This could go in the inner knee joint or lower in your legs, or it could be vertical. So whatever feels comfortable for you, make sure that your feet are close together. So don't have your feet wide. Don't have your feet too close. Have your feet so that they're block distance. So you feel this real stability when you do this posture. You're going to push your feet into the floor, squeeze your block, contract your core, activate your core. Start to push the tushy back. Bring the low belly towards the top thighs. Keep the middle section of your spine open. Do not close your spine. Keep that open. Tushy is back. And then bring your hands forward, coming into chair. Lightning bolt. Make a lightning bolt shape in your body. Reach through the fingertips. Reach them up as high as you can. Bend deeper in your body if you can. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Mountain. Shake your hands. Shake your hands. Let go of tension of your legs, tension in your arms. Let everything shake. And then let your body shake. Let your pelvis shake. When animals feel threatened and they run away from their prey and they stop and they feel safe, their release mechanism is to shake and to release that tension. So release that tension that was developed today, that was excessive or that needs to come out. And then close your eyes. Hold onto your chair if you need, come into mountain. And then open your eyes. So let's allow this to settle into our bones, settle in the way it needs to settle to build more bones. We're going to come down onto the ground and do Shavasana. Clear your space. Get yourself ready. Come down into the ground with any last movements that you need for your body to come down into Shavasana. Let go. Come into a relaxed position. Let your body relax. Let your mind settle. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your ankles, your wrists, and bending the knees. Draw the knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Coming onto your side. From here, pushing away, let your head go along for the ride. Coming up into seated or kneeling. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then bring your hands together at your chest. Press your heart to your hands to your heart. We're going to close the practice with a humming sound. Take a big exhale. Inhale down to your pelvis. In gratitude for this wisdom, this opportunity of self-care to strengthen our balance, to work towards preventing falling and fracturing, to strengthen our bones, our muscles, healthy aging, happy aging, we say thank you. And then open your eyes. All of our ancestors had some gratitude practice or ritualistic practice, whether it came through a spirituality like Christianity or another form. We took the time out to give thanks and to be thankful, whether it was for the food we were eating or things in our lives. So we are so fortunate that we can take care of ourselves like this, that at this moment we had this time to work on strengthening our balance, our body, our bones. I feel so grateful for this opportunity to age strong and healthy, and I know that that will lead to a better quality of life. All right, so that was 12 postures and 12 different postures, but still nevertheless, 12 postures. So I'm so sorry about the mix-up with this, whatever happened today. Patty, hello. Great, Donna. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks. Okay, Marianne, thank you. Marianne, have I seen you on Zoom before? Do you live in Virginia or the East Coast and you have a lot of glass or a lot of wood on your ceiling? I was trying to think about that when we first started practicing. So I'm not sure if you're still here and if that's you. Great, Carolyn, great. Relaxed and hopefully tired. Relaxed, meaning relaxed, like, yes, I'm relaxed, but also, okay. All right. I guess I was thinking of someone. It's been a while. I mean, I've done so many different things over the years, workshops, master classes, webinars. So I just don't always remember who I meet. So my podcasts, go to my website, debbierobinson.com, and you could see my podcasts. I just had another one this week that came out with a pharmacist. Really interesting information. The thing that stood out for me that she said is that the goal of osteoporosis medications is never met. She was a pharmacist that did clinical studies. It's never met, like what it's supposed to be doing. So if you go to that link right there, that's my podcast page. So podcast just came out this Tuesday with a pharmacist, Dr. Fishman. I did an interview with him. I'm doing 6 interviews this week. So it's gonna be a lot of great stuff. I've got a gynecologist I'm interviewing, a physical therapist, more Dr. Fishman. So listen to them and let me know what you think. Download those, give me some comments. Sue, I'm glad you feel good. That's our goal. Great, Sharon. Yeah, Sharon, I thought I heard Hamilton. I thought I was gonna be able to bless you with his presence. Yeah, Virginia sounds nice. Yeah, it does, right? All right.
Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I hope you feel stronger after today's practice. Warrior 3, challenging, pretty strong. A lot of glutes today, a lot of lower body. I know you do. Well, I'm almost ready to give him to you, Sharon. Rehome him if something doesn't change with him, with the 2 cats we have that fight all the time. All right, he is beautiful. I mean, you would love him. I mean, he's ridiculous, but our cats are fighting, so that's not good. All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I will see you when I see you, and go listen to the podcasts. All right, that's the page for them, and you can listen. And I created the video of Dr. Fishman. You get to see him because he's a really special person, and he's why we're why we have this opportunity, right? I studied with him in 2014. Yes, Patty. Challenging, right? Hopefully you didn't aggravate. Oh gosh, Sharon, look. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. Look at. There he is. Do you see him? Sorry, I hope my desk is not a mess. Oh, he just left. Speaking of the devil, there he came. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in something else. All right. Bye, everyone.